welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2. Eggman's about to do something very, very bad to the world. To the moon, I should say. And I will not say what it is. I'm not going to reference it. Not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I saw it and I'm like, oh no. Is someone going to do it? Comment section, you do it for us. You know what we're talking about.
Just for, like, we were talking about the pacing last part. We are already at this, like, this scene.
I like how this just happens because obviously we go into this now with the context of the Team Dark stuff.
Yeah.
But like, this just comes out of nowhere. And the hero side story, it's like, all right, I have a space laser, by the way.
Well, that's the thing too, is the dark side story has a lot more story before even the first level of the hero story takes place.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a lot longer to get to this point in the dark side story. But I don't know. The dark side story is I want to say it's better, but it has like less speed stages. The treasure hunting levels I don't think are as good in the dark side story generally, but it has better mech stages. So that's something. It has better mech stages and pacing.
Levels.
I disagree because Shadow doesn't have Final Rush. So
I'll sacrifice that for White Jungle and Radical Highway.
I think Green Forest is better than White Jungle, personally. And I think City Escape is better than Radical Highway. Though I love Radical Highway.
Detachable!
Chotomate! Sonic!
The cutscenes in this game look so funny. Like, my goodness.
I know. It's literally mocap with no extra work done to it to make it look, good.
The only game from this era with decent looking cutscenes is Heroes, because most of them are FMVs. So if you look at the in-game cutscenes, there's something.
The in-game cutscenes of Sonic Heroes are when they went back to hand animating shit.
But everyone just jitters everywhere and doesn't look like they can actually support them.
Yeah, there's no in-between framing or anything. And then you get to the Shadow cutscenes, and then they take the in-between framing really, really far in that game. So it looks like every movement is this grand sweep of the arms and stuff. So...
Look, all I'm saying is I appreciate 06's animation more when I play these games a lot.
Well,
maybe the 06 animations weren't that bad.
The 06
still rough,
just
but
goes back
there's such an improvement.
The 06 animations just go back to mocapping, entirely.
Yeah, but I don't know. They did it a lot better.
I think the only times the characters aren't mocapped in cutscenes are if they're running. Because then they just use Sonic's in-game running animation or whatever.
Well, it's okay because then we got Unleashed, and that has 0 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 no notes.
0 out of 10.
10 out of 10 no notes.
I have some notes on Unleashed's cutscenes.
Save it for the
I'm
Unleashed
not going to tell them. That's what I'm doing. That's what I was about to say.
We'll have our fight then. Well, you know what I think we can agree on, though, for perfect cutscenes?
What would that be?
Sonic Rush.
No.
Just perfection, man.
That game has such a boring presentation.
You can feel all the emotion when Tails says, when Tails is like, "Over here, Sonic." Can't you feel it?
Oh, right, Sonic.
Yes. That's what he says.
You're almost there.
Yes! 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 You know what game had surprisingly dope cutscenes, at least for the intro cutscene?
What?
Sonic Chronicles. I love the intro cutscene of that.
Oh
game.
yeah, the intro and outro cutscenes for Chronicles are really good.
It was such a unique style, and then the music, while heavily crunched down, like if it wasn't crunched down, I think it would be an awesome music track.
Yeah, I love the moving comic book type of vibe that went for. It was good.
And then I played the rest of the game.
I mean, it's not horrible.
No, but on a system that has Final Fantasy games on it, I think I know what RPG I'm going to play.
Yeah, the one with the blue hedgehog in it. Said Sonic fan 1991.
I was going to say, so then Final Fantasy V.
Ow, my ring bonus!
I feel like one of the Final Fantasy games has to have a talking blue hedgehog in it, or just a blue hedgehog in general.
Yeah, but if it's not the Sonic blue hedgehog, then who cares?
Everybody else, because who cares about Sonic?
I'm making fun of Sonic fans.
Oh, that's easy.
If it doesn't have his blue fucking face on it, they don't care. But that's okay, because I'm not them. I've moved past that stage of my life.
I don't really like this one too much.
Aquatic Mine? It's okay.
It's kind of annoying.
It is. It's kind of like the Adventure Era Labyrinth Zone.
You locked in on that so hard. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, you might have saw that fade in at the beginning of the level. It's because I played the whole stage, I had one shard left, and I realized I never went and grabbed the fucking air necklace. So I restarted it just so I could, like, you know, do it earlier in the level, which I'm doing now. And the like previous run wasn't going too hot anyways. It was like very long. I would have gotten like a C rank. So I wasn't too ate up about it. But the Emerald at the start of that first run was in the exact same spot as the run where I restarted. So like I had the thing blipping right at the start, and I was like, oh, it's in the exact same spot, so I just jumped down and grabbed it.
That's funny.
Dude, the air necklace, I love the like secret extra optional power-ups in this game. Like they're so cool to me. Like the fucking air necklace is like kind of one of the ones that seals it for me, because like as a kid I got to the fucking end of the game without it, and I beat that shit without it. It took me many attempts to do the Knuckles part of the Cannon's Core level without the air necklace, but I was able to do it. And then, like, it was one of those things where, like, my cousin was also playing the game, and I was like, did you beat the Cannon's Core? And he was like, yeah, it was super easy. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? That was the hardest thing I've ever played. And he was like, oh, well, what'd you have trouble with? And I was like, Knuckles drowning. And he was like, Knuckles drowns?
Like, you bastard. I thought you were
like, what?
with me.
It's like, God damn it, what are you talking about? And I back then I didn't really look stuff up on the internet because I just thought YouTube was just where I can watch funny videos, or like the cutscenes of Sonic games, because that's what I mostly watched, was like Sonic X clips, Sonic shorts, and like Sonic Heroes cutscenes, because I couldn't beat that game. So I didn't look it up, so I eventually found that shit on my own, and it was kind of like a Metroidvania moment when you get like a new item. It felt really satisfying.
You know what I watched for Sonic on the internet?
What?
It was just Sonic shorts, Sonic 06 cutscenes, and do you like waffles?
Do you like waffles? Yeah, I fucking watched that video a billion times. I watched that and like the Witch Doctor one.
I never saw that one.
The ooh ee ooh ah ah. You never saw that one?
Nope. I know what the Witchwalk Doctor is though. You don't have to sing it.
Oh well, it was like made by the same guy who made the Do You Like Waffles one, because it was just like Sonic X footage, and it was trying to make it look like they were singing.
Right.
And Shadow was the the deeper voice of the Witch Doctor song. Ooh ee ooh ah ah, ting tang, walla walla bing bang.
The internet used to be such a weird place.
I love it.
You remember when Paralyzer by Finger 11 was in like every single tutorial video? Because YouTube had the license.
Yes.
Damn, do I love that song just because of Halo 3 gameplay videos.
Did you ever watch like those Tails Doll creepypasta videos?
No, most I saw of Tails Doll was primarily through Sonic Shorts.
Yeah, that's fair.
I watched Sonic Shorts back on the Flash era, and like on one of them, you would see Tails Doll at like the end of the credits saying something creepy, and you kept clicking on him, he would do creepier things. And it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, there was one. It wasn't even like a specific creepypasta video. It was just let the bodies hit the floor. And it was just an image of Tails Doll on the screen with like a checkerboard floor, and that song would be playing. And I remember watching it for the first time and having like the whispering happening, and I was like, this song is creepy. And then the scream happened, and it scared me so bad that I slammed my laptop shut. And then every time I would like accidentally come across that video, I would hear the whispering, and I'd be like, nope! And I'd just close the computer immediately.
Dude,
so I have some PTSD with that song.
I watched so many stick fight videos with that song.
Oh, yeah. Not with that song. I couldn't watch anything with that song because Tails Doll traumatized
but yeah,
me.
It was just stick fight videos in general. There's so many of those.
Yeah, stick fight videos good.
It's like when someone made that stick fight fighting game, it was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Even though it was
also
took a piss on everything.
I'm really enjoying this discussion, but I want to talk about these racing levels.
Yeah, you play this game too much. I can tell.
Yeah, I know. I'm like too good at these. Whenever I go to complete Sonic Adventure 2, which I've done more than once because I'm a fucking psychopathic maniac, I always do the A ranks on the car missions first. Just to get them bitches out of the way. Because I don't like these levels at all. The driving is shit. You see me swerving around, that's because I'm like constantly in drift mode.
To explain what's going on here, this is essentially snaking from Mario Kart DS before Mario Kart DS. People were doing this shit in SA2.
It doesn't make you any faster. It just gives you the maneuverability that the drift offers, but at all times. So you don't really ever have to slow down to make turns. And that's really, really important for getting this shit over with as fast as possible.
This is what it looks like when you no life Sonic Adventure 2.
Yep. This is how I was playing when I was like 9. When I figured out you could do this. I would have tried to do the trick that makes the car turn backwards. But every time I try to do that, it doesn't work. So
it's for the best.
Yeah. But it's also like massive floating level with PNG background, and this is when you realize that the entirety of Sonic Adventure 2 is massive floating level with PNG background.
Well, hang on. There's water.
Oh, true. My bad.
Credit where credit's due.
The very low res GIF of water.
And
that
that's
makes
why
up for
Lost
it.
Jungle is better than Frog Forest simply because there's water at the bottom. Just kidding.
No,
Frog Forest is better in every way possible because of the music.
Well, Frog Forest, it also makes sense because you in the background in the skybox you can see the other gigantic mushrooms. So we're up in the air. We're actually up in the air in that.
We have giant mushrooms on my island too.
But this is ridiculous. Man, I can't wait to do Heroes. Every time we do a Sonic game, I'm just like, oh man, I can't wait for the next one. It's gonna ruin these commentaries. Oh yeah, hello, Mr. President from the Sonic universe.
Dude, us quoting Heroes is gonna be like us not quoting Heroes while playing Heroes is gonna be the same pain as us not quoting the Real-Time Fandub right now, or just other lines in SA2.
Hey, we're doing good on the Fandub stuff.
So far. So far, so good. No guarantees on Shadow. That game's long, and I'm gonna get bored.
No way! I like in the Japanese version, it's 2 separate sentences. No way! It's funny.
This game is so funny.
I'm putting that behind me, Mr. President.
There we go.
I had to.
There it is.
I fucking had to. It was... Okay, let's move it! Junichi is so amazing as Sonic. I love him. I'm so sorry for bringing the fandom into this again. It's so hard not to. And there's so many people that don't like those, but I don't give a fuck.
It's because it's popular. But
yeah.
You know what? We were Sonic fans before the Fandubs, and we enjoy the Fandubs, so we reserve the right to quote them. We're just not going to, because we got other things to talk about.
We will never quote the Fandub, ever. Not in the past. We've never done it, ever before, not even in this video.
Sonic, how do plants have sex?
And we'll never do it in the future. We definitely will not talk about... Never mind.
Oh, I already said I'm going to talk about the Fandub for Shadow. Maybe 06.
Hey.
But I think we have enough. I think we have enough to talk about about 06 without the Fandub.
Oh, we got plenty to talk about with Shadow the Hedgehog. Meh. Fuck you.
Not if you do a true playthrough and make us sit through every single path twice.
Oh no, I wouldn't fucking do that. You crazy? What I would do is I would alter the path slightly. So we do different things. So we'd still do 10 full playthroughs.
You would do that, and you probably will do that. Because
I
am making you sit through all 4 playthroughs of Heroes.
I mean, that's definitely more reasonable than the 10 playthroughs of Shadow.
Well, no.
Well, actually, no, because each playthrough of Shadow
is about 5 levels versus the 10 or 12 levels that is Heroes.
Yeah, because it's like, it kind of does the classic Sonic structure where it's like a zone aesthetic with 2 acts each, but they don't call them acts in that game.
They're not acts, they're separate levels. In my headcanon, they've always been separate levels, and I will call them separate levels. I don't care if anyone calls it Act 1 or Act 2.
Lost Jungle is Frog Forest Act 2.
No.
And you can't convince me otherwise.
It's not. It's Lost Jungle. It's different because it has a different name and has a different feel to it. And that's why it's better than Sonic 3, because Sonic 3 calls everything Act 1 and 2.
Okay, well then, the Sandopolis Act 2, should that be called a pyramid fucking ghost pyramid?
Yes.
Should that...
Yes. It would be cooler that way.
It's still Sandopolis Act 2.
It would be cooler.
In terms of design, it is Sandopolis Act 2. I would even say in this game...
different.
No, it isn't.
It's very different. You got rising sand puzzles. You have a timer to affect ghost. You don't have the rappel mechanics. The terrain is styled differently, where it's a lot less uneven inside the pyramid. You don't have the same badniks.
Well, that's just not true.
I'm just saying. Act 2.
Badniks is
same thing with Lava Reef
not
Act 2.
True. You have the fucking scorpion in both acts. You have the fucking...
The only saving grace Sonic 3 has over Heroes is that the level themes all carry the same structure. So the music matches. versus Heroes, where the music's completely different between levels.
Hey, I'm just saying, I would even argue that Radical Highway in this game is City Escape Act 2. I'll say it.
So we're Skyrail Act 2.
That's Pumpkin Hill. Well, actually, like, realistically, Mission
Metal
Street...
Harbor has, like, 3 acts.
The thing Sonic Adventure 2 does a lot is that it uses an aesthetic that a particular character type, like speed, mech, or treasure hunting, has, and then uses that aesthetic in the opposite story for a different character type. So Mission Street is just Radical Highway from Dark Side Story aesthetics.
Yeah, but White Jungle is just Green Forest. But
yeah, White Jungle is Green Forest, but you have Metal Harbor for Sonic, but the equivalent in the Dark Side Story is Eggman stage. They do it a lot more than you think. There are like direct equivalencies, like Final Chase, Final Rush, you know. But you have Pumpkin Hill and Skyrail. You have, you know, a bunch of different stuff like that that switches things up, and I kind of like how this game does that.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say real quick that I love this level, but I suck at it.
It's so hard to get the fucking rings in the tunnels sometimes, like the big rings that you have to jump through.
For the life of me, but it's so much fun.
It is a really good Sonic stage. This and Metal Harbor were my favorites as a kid, because like. As a kid, I used to have the fucking ring tunnel done. Or not done. I used to have it down to a science. I'm waiting on that Gamma bot to shoot me, and he fucking didn't.
Yeah, he always shoots me because I always forget about the timing.
Yeah. Because every other time I try to fucking attack these fuckers, they, like, snipe me right as I'm in the middle of my homing attack toward them.
This would probably be my favorite song in the game as well, other than maybe Light Jungle, which is also probably my favorite level.
White Jungle has a great song.
Rhythm and balance is so good.
Yeah, hurry to the unexplored land. So good.
Yeah, I just hate that not every Shadow song is that. Because Radical Highway is different, which hurts
it's like there's like a theory that like certain stages were like mixed around, and some of them they didn't have time to change the music for. Because, like, Radical Highway kind of sounds like a Sonic level stage theme.
Yeah, and Skyrail.
Yeah. So it sounds like they didn't have enough time to make a bunch of tracks for Shadow stages. Because, you know, originally, we haven't talked about this yet, originally this game was just going to be Sonic, Knuckles, and Eggman as playable characters. But apparently there was fan outcry for Tails. So they added Tails and Rouge and Shadow for some reason as playable characters.
See, I haven't even seen a lot of the I haven't really seen much evidence for that, so I don't even know if that's true.
Well, we do know that
any articles about it.
We don't know.
I've just seen it as speculation, like the Michael Jackson stuff.
I don't think the like fan outcry for Tails thing has any real evidence, but the game was originally just Sonic, Knuckles, and Eggman, and that's why like it was just going to be one story from start to finish, and that's why the story presentation in this is kind of like really fast paced and all over the place, is because they divided it up between 2 separate stories for 6 characters instead of, you know, the 3 that it was originally going to have.
What I wonder is if maybe they just didn't have enough time to make tracks for those levels. Like, I think Sky Sanctuary, no matter what, was intended to be a Sonic level, because it just doesn't really make sense for Shadow in game. It just kind of happens. But Radical Highway is like feels integral because Shadow meets Sonic there. Like it feels like it has to happen. I wonder.
No, it doesn't. Shadow's just running from the police in that level.
What I wonder is if they just didn't have enough time to make Shadow's music, because it's very electronic and industrial and heavily sampled. So I wonder if they just didn't have time to finish out the music for it. Because other than that, Shadow has a pretty strong musical identity in this with that industrial style stuff. But I wonder if they just ran out of time for it, and Shun Sonoe just stepped in to write something quick on guitar because he's just really darn good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, all the other Shadow tracks were done by Fumiya Kumatani, who was at the same time also doing the Rouge tracks as well. And was pretty busy with those.
Mm-hmm. And one last thing before the part ends. You'll notice we talked about how we did half of Sonic's levels in the first part. We only did one of them in this part. So it just shows that like sometimes the game's pacing is like really strange where you're not playing as Sonic for a very long time.
It helps that they're short levels compared to what Unleashed does.
Unless you're playing for the first time and you're stuck on a fucking aquatic mine for 30 minutes. Because that happens, and that happens a lot to new players of this game, and it happened to me as a kid. I know that for sure. So
aquatic mine is a pretty big difficulty curve.
Yeah, that's why I said it's like this game's Labyrinth Zone.